Definitely the highest winds I've ever experienced at 105.5 miles an hour. Hello and welcome to another video. I'm out here in the Western Beacons in Wales. It is a glorious sunny day. I'm out here with my friend Luke today. We are going up to Llyn Y Fan Fawr now, and then we'll be heading up on the ridge, and we are thinking about sleeping at Llyn Y Fan Fach tonight. But if it's busy, we might just stay up on top of the ridge and have a quiet night on top there. You can see the main Western Beacon as the Brecon Beacons over here. We've got Penrhyn and Corndee, and enormous views with all this clear sky we've got. There won't be a great deal of talking from me today, as this will be a quieter camp, I think, but I will share some scenes from along the way. We've just made the climb up the staircase from Llyn Y Fan Fawr. We've got Van Breciniog behind us, which is an 802 metre peak, and we are making our way to the Vampire VZ106 crash site, which is only a couple of hundred metres away from here. This is a plane crash where a single pilot was flying the plane, came down through the clouds and crashed into the mountain and sadly died. That was in October 1953, but pictures on the internet suggest that there's still a decent amount of the wreckage to have a look at now. So I will show you some pictures from the scene. And here it is. It was good to see the vampire wreckage. I've seen and heard about it for quite a long time. I've got to say I'm glad I wasn't in that plane when it came down. It must have been a brief moment of shock when the pilot realised that as soon as he came out of the clouds, that was ground. We continue up now and we'll search out our camping spot for tonight. We just have our last climb to make now, up onto the top of Picws up here. can see Luke down here, and we now have this hill to climb, and then we'll either camp up on the top or we'll make our way down to Llyn Y Fan Fach. The Llyn itself is very popular, so there's a very good chance that there'll be a number of people there camping or just walking, possibly even wild swimming. I think Luke and I would both rather have a quiet night with a bit of space around us, so if it's busy at the lake we will definitely stay up on the top, but it may just be that we'd prefer to sleep up on top of the ridge anyway for the improved views of the sunset. Let's get up this hill. We've now made it to the top of Picws. We've got Llyn Y Fan Fach down here, the car park over here in the distance, so our route has brought us up here, round here, round the bottom here, past Llyn Y Fan Fawr, all the way around the top, and then we sort of come over the back here along these tops, down, and then along to where we are now. It's a fantastic evening. Well, that's my Southern Cross up and pitched, and the views are good. I'll just walk you over to the edge here to show you the view. We are straight above Llyn Y Fan Fach, and we're in for a really good sunset tonight. This place is stunning. I'm really impressed by how stable the Southern Cross one is in wind. They're only gentle breezes, talking 10 to 15 miles an hour, but with the poles in the inner eyelet here, you can see the shape of it. You can see it's hardly moving in these breezes we're getting. Let me show you our sunset view. We're looking down on Llyn Y Fan Fach. The sun is just starting to set now, and we are perched right here on the edge. Well, it's getting a little bit wilder out there, but nothing too bad. I'm all wrapped up nice and warm in my sleeping bag, Rubber Scent 900, and I think it's time for a little bit of pudding, and I'm going to have Wayfarer's Sticky Toffee Pudding. Absolute winner. I've actually just sat outside for the last probably half an hour, 45 minutes, in my sleeping bag, on my thermarest, just loving the night sky. But that wind's picking up quite a lot, the temperature's dropping now, so it's nice to come inside and have the shelter of the tent. See if I can show you a bit with my head torch. So yeah, it was getting wild out there. The winds must be over 20 miles an hour now. They're not due to go over 25 up here on the top, so hopefully nothing too dramatic in the night. It's actually the first time I've sat out on my thermarest in my sleeping bag like that. I bought myself some polythene sheeting from Toolstation for £2.78, I think. It was some 220 gauge polythene sheeting for builders. It was about 3 meters by 4 meters, so I cut about a third off it. So actually it only cost me about 90p, and it weighed in at 95 grams, I think. And that was just a protective sheet to put down on the ground so I can put my thermarest on top and not be too worried about it getting wet or punctured. So yeah, just sat out in my sleeping bag on the thermarest, watching the sun go down. Had my my main meal, chicken tikka and rice. Yeah, decided the wind was just getting a little bit too wild, so I've come back indoors for some sticky toffee pudding, and I think shortly after that I'll be going straight to bed, so I will see you tomorrow. Hello! No. Much better. Beautiful sunny day, but the wind is strong. I've measured over 60 miles an hour this morning. We're just leaving our pitch. We were camped here. You can see the wind rippling across the grass here as well. And our route now is along the ridge, down to the lake, and then we'll either go directly back to the car, which is about a 3-mile walk, or we'll take a slight detour and bump it up to 5 or 6 miles. Well, it's nice to get down to the relative calm of Llyn Y Fan Fach after 105.5 mile-an-hour winds up on the top. That's certainly the strongest wind I've felt before, and I'm pretty glad that we were in a slightly more sheltered spot. We were up on top of the ridge, we were sort of around about here, but we only had 62 mile-an-hour winds this morning and not 105. Look at the wind whipping across the lake. We are just getting back to the car park now, the Llyn Y Fan Fach car park. And that was a pretty wild camp. Definitely the highest winds I've ever experienced at 105.5 miles an hour. The 35 mile-an-hour winds forecast this morning also turned out to be over 60 miles an hour. So it's quite nice coming down to the peaceful, sheltered levels down here. That's the end of Wild Camp 21 for me. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.